Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I'd speak about anger. I feel I'm quite qualified to talk about that. Most people, if anybody's watching this and knows me, will say, oh aye, best qualified. Anger I carried my whole life. It destroyed everything good that was in me, took away everything good, stopped me, prevented me from achieving what I wanted to achieve in my life, because my expectations that I had on myself and the expectations that I put on other people caused me a heck of a lot of anger. Looking at things to moan and groan about every day, just looking for things to hurt myself every day. No meaning to do it, but doing it out of habit. Getting angry with children because they're not living up to your expectations, because they're maybe embarrassing you in shops. But really the biggest embarrassment is us, the way we scream at them, shout at them and slap them because we feel embarrassed. And then we turn around and say, I don't care. I really will get the shame and guilt later on that night or the following day, because the laws of spirit don't let us away with anything. We start to live in a world of I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, which causes shame, causes guilt, causes more anger. And then we start to blame, because for me a lot of my anger was caused through blaming. Looking at the state of the roads, why am I paying road tax for the state of these roads, and getting angry, knowing there's nothing I can do about it. Looking at the television and getting angry. When I put my boot, I think I've two televisions I've smashed throughout my years, through my drinking and stuff like that. Partners I've lost in my life, friends, family not wanting to speak to me, losing jobs, destroyed me, my health. It nearly killed me. Was my anger, becoming violent at times when I couldn't get my own way, and all down to sight and sound, which I speak about. Everything is for me. In a spiritual sense, what I see and what I hear I will react to, whether it's good or bad. And the only way I knew how to react was with anger, and getting angry when I couldn't get my own way, and getting angry with society, and get just a life full of anger. I was wondering why my body was in so much pain. I ended up with spondylitis of the spine, Bell's palsy 7 times in both sides of my face, which the specialists said it wouldn't go away, but they didn't know the cause or the cure for it. I found out by reading spiritual books that the cause was extreme control over anger, because I didn't want to get angry anymore, and I was doing my nervous system in. I burnt all the lining in my stomach. I was in so much pain, and I didn't know how to change. I didn't know why I was angry, because I kept blaming. Nobody says to me that's wrong, and people say it's okay to be angry. Yeah, I suppose it's okay to be angry, it's a negative emotion, but the length of time that you carry that anger on, then you've got to address it at some point in our life, because we can't continue blaming other people for our anger. It's us that's getting angry. Certain people may cause disturbance to our spirit, what causes us to be angry. It's when we hold that resentment and bitterness then it carries, because when the anger goes into resentment, it eats away at the soul, and it takes away all our goodness and every bit of goodness that we have within us, because everybody is full of goodness. And we're full of joy and we're full of happiness and peace as well. It's just nobody shows us how to get it. We're only happy when things are going our way. And it's like, life's full of twists and turns, and not everything's going to go our way. Sometimes everything's rosy in the garden, and relationships are going well, and the job's going well, healthy, it's going well, your finances are going well, but sometimes the boat gets rocked, and one thing will come away, and that's life, and you'll notice it your whole life. One thing will go rocky, maybe the relationship, you might lose your job, the finances will go a bit down, and you might split with your partner. That's part of life. Life's all about learning to love and accept these things right on the spot, and practicing if you really want that peace and contentment. But if you believe that you're a spirit and you're a spiritual being, and you're down here having a human experience and learning to love and learning to find out about yourself and your creator and the universe, and all the good things that's out there for us, and you'll take responsibility, and you'll see your circumstances will change when you start taking responsibility for that anger that's eating away at you. Because the prisons are full of angry people, the hospitals, because as I said, the damage we do to your spirit through our mind comes out in the body. Mind, body and spirit. You start committing rashes and spots and aches and pains and tumours and heart attacks and heart diseases and arthritis, and the amount of headaches that you get is unbelievable. And you start to see, hold on, doctors will tell you about the body, psychiatrists now will go and tell you about the mind and what they've learned. Your own experience is your best teacher. That is the best teacher on this planet, is your own experience, because we are individuals and every individual has got a different experience. We're all here to learn different lessons. And when you start looking at yourself and taking responsibility for that anger and the effect it's had on you and on your family, the way we speak to children, again, learned behaviour passing on to our children, and the only person that can break that cycle basically is us. And the shame and guilt that I felt myself personally for the way I spoke to my son at times, because I was embarrassed with him crying maybe in the shops and I'm shouting. Anybody was embarrassed, it was me, the way people were looking at me, shouting and screaming and doing the same things that happened to me that I swore I wouldn't do as a teenager. I'd bring my children up different. And then the children don't want to speak to you, Mr. Angry, and you're looking at the television and the things that's on the television, the grumpy old men, grumpy old women, and looking for things to complain about and moan and groan about. And that was me every day. I was looking for things, not consciously, unconsciously looking at all these things and just moaning and groaning at the potholes in the road, and why am I paying my road tax, and why is nothing getting fixed here, and blah 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 blah, and then getting into this bigger role of anger every day, no happiness, no peace. And I was wondering why my circumstances wouldn't change. Why is my circumstances going to change? I'm not changed. So I create good things through my good thoughts and positive thinking and self-belief. But if I'm saying I can't do this and look at that and moaning and groaning and causing anger and resentment, because when that anger goes on and you're no, and somebody's done something to you you didn't expect, that anger can then get into resentment, and you will end up hating a person that you said you loved. And that could be a member of family where you'll never speak to them again, which happens in society, which we're warned about. If you read the scriptures and spiritual books for thousands of years ago, they told us all these things were going to happen. But we kind of disregard that. It's getting to a stage in your life where you say, I've had enough, Keys, I'm sick of this anger, and it's down to sight and sound. What you see out there in the material world, and what you hear out there in the material world for other people, causes you to feel anger. But the biggest one is what you tell yourself in your own head. The self-talk. Talking yourself into anger, talking yourself into resentment, not taking responsibility for the damage that you've done to your body. As I says, the prisons are full, the hospitals are full. Every bit of damage we do to the spirit has got to come out in the body, in aches and pains. Like I said, all the things that happened to me, the Bell's palsy, the spondylitis, the burning of the lining of the stomach, ended up in the institutions and anger management, and basically everybody tries their best. But the best teacher is yourself. When you finally stop blaming society and other people, places, things and situations for your anger and what's going on in your life right now, and you own that, that's when change starts to happen. When you've finally recognised, this is my responsibility. I might not like what that person said, I might not like what the government's doing, I might not like the state of the roads, I might not like this and I might not like that, but I can change that whole perception by changing me and how I see other people, places, things and situations. And try to see them through spiritual eyes rather than see them through goggles, material eyes, because it's everything is down to our expectations, how we expect other people to think, act and behave like us, and the government shouldn't be doing this and government shouldn't be doing that and this shouldn't be happening, that's an injustice, and want to get in there and fight other people's battles and getting angry, and we're the ones that's hurting. And finally that penny's got to drop. I don't want to hurt anymore. I am sick and tired of hurting. I do not want to hurt anymore. And you get to that stage where you really believe in yourself. I can do this. Because we've seen, if we don't break this cycle of dysfunction in our own family and our own life, we're going to pass it on to the next generation. Because that's what happened, it skips. Finally, we'll skip a generation when we change. But it's passed down from one generation to the other. And you know that yourself. We're looking at your parents and your grandparents and seeing similar behaviours in one of them. And you'll see where everything is learned. As you're a baby, you're growing up in the house. You're listening and watching. You can't even speak yet. But you're listening and you're watching everything that's going on, the way mummy and daddy and your siblings and your aunties and uncles and the friends are coming into the house. You're listening and watching that. You're copying that by example. And you believe that to be normal because this is people you love, because this is your family and this is your friends. And they behave differently for that. It's a tall order. It's difficult. That takes tremendous courage. Is to speak your own mind and be true to yourself, which people can do. That's their nature. They've been brought into this life to learn something different. And I take my hat off to people like that who can. I know a lot of young people that can do that and say, no, I'm not going to break in there and I'm not going to do that. And this is why we become violent and we become really, really angry. It's because the spirit doesn't want you to be doing these things. If you live by the law of spirit, which is about love and learning to love, and learn to recognise the damage that we're doing to our own spirit, our own soul, and the damage, and take responsibility for our tongue and the way we speak to other people, because we're not getting our own way. And that's what anger was to me. I wasn't getting my own way, and people weren't living up to my expectations and doing the things that I would do. It caused a lot of anger in my life and a lot of pain where I wanted to take my own life, because the shame and guilt was too much for me. Because coming onto a spiritual path, I thought it was going to be easy. I expected the God of my understanding, the universe, to do things for me because I started changing. Yes, things happened. You better believe it. That's where I am today, because I took responsibility. I wanted it right away. I thought because I wasn't angry one day or I never reacted the same way, good things were going to happen, and I'd have a full bank account and I'd have a nice car. And again, that's the picture that I created as a child. You see that when children paint a wee picture, mummy and daddy holding hands and the sun at the background and the car and the forecourt and the big house, and we take that picture through our life and believe that's happiness, having these things. And we look at other people and become jealous. We don't know what's going on in their house or in their mind. Everybody wears a mask. We're all really good at wearing masks. And when I work with offenders and ex-offenders, and I see that most of the prison is full of angry people. The hospitals, are, as I said, are jam-packed, because all this anger, resentment and bitterness that we're holding is coming out in our body, because we're going against the law of spirit. And we have to recognise that and become willing to change that. And I know you can do it, because I've done it. And I came from a very violent, aggressive, angry background. And I chose not to allow that in my life. Yes, I can still get angry. I'm not sitting here saying I'm a saint. The difference is it'll last for seconds, not minutes, hours, days, weeks or months. Seconds, because I choose not to feel that. But I've been reacting the same way for 30, 35 years. It's difficult. You can get days and days of peace where you'll attract good things to you. But I fell out with my higher power. I fell out with the God of my understanding because of my expectations, and I get really angry with him as well, because I didn't know him, because I didn't know me. And if I didn't know my higher power and his will for me, then I obviously didn't know me. I done everything Gerry's way, and it destroyed me. And it's about learning about humility and looking for different ways to change, and get out there and asking for a bit of help. And when you ask, the universe sees that your soul is starting to want to change, and you're recognising that better things and good things will come to you through these changes. And the example we become to our children, we're not slapping them and screaming at them in the street and in the shops and in the house and punishing them the way we were punished. It's about recognising the damage that we're going to be doing to these children, and taking full ownership and responsibility for that anger, especially the damage it does to the mind, your body and your spirit. Remember, everything comes through the mind, everything. And it's an effect on the body, and it has an effect on the spirit. So try and look at that anger, and I'll get into this later on, because I was a very, very angry person when I couldn't get my own way, throwing tantrums and being so immature and childish. It was unbelievable. It's time to grow up and say, put that big stick away and stop punishing yourself for reacting out of habit. And I promise you, life will get better, a lot better. And it's about being able to trust yourself. That's the word, the key to open my heart. Trust. Trust yourself that you can do this. Believe in yourself. Motivate yourself, and use your anger to motivate you to do better things. Finding other things to do to quiet your mind and be still. And the next time you get angry, just do that. Take a couple of deep breaths. Just dust yourself down and say, I didn't mean to do that, and just get on with your life and practice that, and you will see eventually it will go away, because you're starting to let other people live their lives their way, and you're not interfering, and you're living your life your way, where you can find the courage to look someone in the eye and say, no, I'm not doing that, and I don't care what you think about me. It's what I think about me. I have no bad thoughts towards you. I didn't do anything to deserve that. And sometimes that harbours that bad resentment and anger, where people are also blaming you for something that you never done, and it's causing you to feel angry. You know you never done it. The God of your understanding knows you never done it. So why are we letting that affect us? We can't change the way they think about us, and we can't change what they have said about us. So it's being able to recognise that and being true to yourself and learn to say no. It causes a lot. Stops you from being angry, and stop looking at things out with your control, like the roads and things that's going on in the television. Stop watching the telly, stop looking at the roads, and start looking at yourself, because this is a personal journey, and I know everybody can do it. I know everybody can do it when we find the right tools, and that first tool is honesty. The second one's responsibility, and the third one is willingness. And when you've got the three, you're well on your way. And I know that in my heart and heart, everybody's got that within them. So I'll speak to you later on, and I hope you get something from that, because we are not angry people. We are loving and caring people. We are not angry, aggressive, violent people. It's because we can't get our own way, or what we learned as children growing up. We can't blame our parents or society anymore. Take responsibility for the here and now in your life, this moment, and what's going on in your life. And when you stop doing the things that are going against the law of spirit, you'll see your circumstances will change, your health will change, and your spirit will grow. And I promise you that. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye.